Okay, so I've been trying to avoid making this video. For the longest time, I just ignored this, but it is something that I've been noticing increasingly in the community, and it's been making me increasingly more annoyed. So I figured that I'll finally address it. So let's talk. Okay, so the basis of Yu-Gi-Oh is that you make your deck and you try to beat your opponent. How you build your deck and how you try to beat your opponent is completely up to you. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So the problem I have with the community is this whole elitist idea that every deck has to be built a certain way or else it's bad. And you have to play every card in every situation a certain way or else you did it wrong. You misplayed. Alright, so I'm a YuGiTuber. I upload deck profiles and duel videos, and other YuGiTubers do too, and I watch theirs, and I always see these comments. There's always these comments, things like, this build sucks. Why is he running this? Why is he running this? Why is he running 3 copies of that? You're not supposed to run 3 copies of that, or why is he only running 1 of this, or why did he choose not to run this engine, or why did he include that? It's always dead, it's bad, you won't win, this build sucks. And then same thing goes for duel videos. I'll watch these duels or I'll upload my own, and there's always people who are saying, you should have done this at this time, you misplayed, or both these players are terrible, because they didn't do this at this time and they made this and this many mistakes. And don't get me wrong, some complaints, some criticism is warranted. Like, if in a duel video 2 people actually break a rule, whether knowingly or not, that's a problem. You should let people know about that. But I think that outside of that, when people just are so harshly critical of others in a game that is literally meant to promote, creativity and individuality and freedom of play, it just baffles me. So let's take it back to the deck profiles thing, right? Somebody's playing 3 copies of a card that most people run 2 of. People will just so, vehemently attack them in a deck profile video. Why are you running this card? Why are you running 3? You're not supposed to run 3. It's awful. It's bad. And I always wonder with those, why are you watching the deck profile then? You know what I mean? Like, you watch a deck profile to see somebody else's build of a deck, whether it's to draw inspiration or what, that's what you're watching it for. So why would you watch a deck profile and then attack a person for their deck choices? It's not like people are really, uploading profiles just to be attacked. They're uploading profiles just to show their build. It's what works for them. And that's the key thing here. And it's what gets me kind of so stirred up with this community at times, because people have this idea that, their way is the right way, there aren't any other right ways, and, if you're not following kind of their thought process, then there's just something wrong with you, and they'll treat you like that. Like, why is this build so bad? Why are you running this? You're not supposed to. And what do you mean you're not supposed to? Let's take myself for an example, right? Go back a few years ago, right? Okay, so I played Mermails for a while. And if you guys have watched some duels with me or watched my videos for a while, you'll know that normally I tend to play things a little bit slower, a little more passively. Even when I'm playing what should be an aggro deck or a combo deck, I tend to hold back and, react to my opponent. So in Mermails a long time ago, I played 2 copies of Salvage. Very controversial decision. Mermails being an aggro deck means, you're kind of just supposed to go in there and OTK quickly, and at most you'd be running 1 salvage, maybe for a mid-game type of thing. I ran 2 because I usually didn't aim for OTKs with Mermails. I prefer to just play it kind of more like a mid-range ramp-up deck where I'm just trying to outlast my opponent. I enjoy the idea of just plussing off the Atlanteans, and that's how I like to play Mermails. Is it optimal? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I guess competitively most people would say, no, it's not. Because, Mermails, that's not really what they're built to do, quote unquote. They're built to, attack quickly and win. And if you play them any other way, apparently, you're horrible at this game. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's my deck and I can play it however I want. I can build it however I want. And I want people to realize that when they're watching profiles, whether it's from me or another YuGiTuber, that, this game is meant to allow you to be creative and play it however you like. Don't get me wrong, there were games I lost because I played 2 salvages. I might open with 2 salvages and they'd be dead and I would just lose because of it. But there were also games that won me the game. I might be playing against some anti-meta-ish deck and it just slows the pace down, and then I end up reaching that late game and having a second salvage to get me back a infantry and a marksman that I was able to pitch and use their effects might have saved me in a situation where the next Mermail player wouldn't have had that option. Will it happen all the time? Nah, but it doesn't matter because, I am able to play my deck how I want to play it. And even at the highest level of competition, and this is the part that really gets me, even at the highest level of competition, there's not really an optimal way to play every deck. People would like to think so, but most of the people who say that are sheep. Great examples, most of the winning YCS builds, tend to have some sort of twist, some sort of card that no one really expected to be able to do anything, and then it suddenly becomes a meta trend. But that seems a little bit oxymoronic because we have this community where we're so dead set on playing things the right way, the optimal way, and if you're not playing it that way, get out. But then when somebody wins a YCS, wins the huge, concentration of meta event, and they're running some strange tech card, that tech card ramps up in price, and everyone's like, oh my god, this is the next big thing, you have to get it, but it's like, wait a second, I thought you were saying that the old way of doing things that we thought was so right isn't actually right. It's like, that's the thing that really can get me about this community, is everyone wants to be a sheep and everybody wants to be right, and it's just this whole thing where it's just following the meta or it's following whatever you've been told, and it's really pretty horrible. I mean, think about it. If you are the type of person who literally disregards even trying a card out, then you're probably doing it wrong, to be honest. Especially because we have these resources like YuGiOh Pro, and I guess not dueling network anymore, but we have these resources like YuGiOh Pro where you have the entire card pool available to you. You can try out anything you want. You can try out these horrible, crazy, wild tech ideas that are creative and may not ever actually work in competitive play, but the fact of the matter is they're there and you can try them and you can build them and play them and test them and see how it goes for you. But even then there are people who will still, just vehemently denounce the idea of trying out a certain card or a certain engine or playing a deck in a different kind of way or making a different play in a different situation. Let's talk about that for a bit. I've, like I said, uploaded loads of duels, and there's always comments like, why didn't he play it this way? Why? These players suck, so many misplays. You can play however you want, you know what I mean? Like, if I chose to overextend in a situation, or, I chose to not overextend in a situation and to be more passive, be more reactive, hold back. Maybe I lost because of it. Maybe I won because of it. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, it's my deck and it's my decisions, and I don't know why people don't appreciate that when they're watching these duels or watching these profiles, that you are seeing another player's opinion, another player's take on the game. That alone should be the interesting part of this for you. And, I don't know, hindsight's 2020, of course, in hindsight, maybe this would have been a better play to make, or maybe in hindsight after an event, this would have been a better build for me to use. That's just the learning experience of it, but it's the people who attack everybody for believing differently. That's just the worst part about this community, and this isn't even just on YouTube, it's mostly on YouTube. But I see it on Facebook groups, I see it on Reddit, just this whole idea that, if you're not playing it this way, you are wrong. And I just can't understand that. I can't understand how you can play a game about building a unique deck and not really do that. And just, full disclosure thing, this applies to competitive players a lot, but this even applies to casuals, anywhere in between. This happens kind of everywhere. There's always, no matter what level of play you're at, there's always going to be the people who just say, you are playing this wrong, you have to play it my way or the highway, and I can't get behind it. So, and you guys probably know people like that. You guys probably are like that. Don't get me wrong. Constructive criticism is fine. I understand, disagreeing with people, and you can respectfully disagree with somebody. There's a difference. It's, these comments where people get so, just passionate, fired up. You hear just swearing, and you hear just all these horrible insults getting thrown. Why do you have to insult somebody for playing a deck the way they want? If you don't like it, I guess you just don't watch it, or don't leave a comment, or just say I disagree with a few things. But it's just usually it comes off as more of attacks and accusations and, just these horrible things. And that's in all parts of YouTube. That's not even just me, that's not just my channel, but it's something that this community's really gotta get around. All this whole, this build is bad, this player is bad, this card is bad, this deck is bad. That's gotta go. It gets annoying. I see way too much of it, and most of the people saying it, And maybe they're just insecure. Maybe they, they just want to be right and want to have someone to follow. But remember, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! You can play it however you want, and you're totally entitled to do that. So, end rant. Hope you guys like the video. If you agree with me, you can let me know. If you hate me and think that I'm an idiot for saying all of this, sure, why not? Just leave a comment about that too. Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you love the video, and you can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter, and I have a Discord server where you can talk to other Yu-Gi-Oh players, sponsor stuff from TCG players, all down in the description, and I'll have a new video hopefully later this week. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.